What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with our daily Apple update video where we take a look at how Apple stock traded today, some key support and resistance levels that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Apple stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. Small green day for Apple today, but it was really a roller coaster ride throughout the course of the day. We were pretty much negative for most of the day, which was not something that we hadn't expected, right? We talked about kind of that Friday fade and closing the week out, but then we got this really late push, which was absolutely amazing to see. Let's take a look here. So this kind of little news blurb here talks about how the reason for this push today is because investors were buying energy, financials, and material shares and selling big tech stocks in anticipation of new fiscal aid from Washington to help the US economy recover, right? So what we have to understand is big tech has been on an absolute rally this past year, but some of the other industries, right, we're talking, banks, we're talking energy, we're talking materials, we're talking anything related to travel, those have really been depressed. And so as this new stimulus comes in and as we get closer to a vaccine, those companies are hopefully going to start to do as well as, or start to, not necessarily like boom, next quarter you do as well as, but they'll start to do kind of similar to how they were doing before, right? And so that's why a lot of money is flowing into there and not into big tech at the moment. That being said, let's take a look at how Apple stock traded today, and we will see how it was, right? So like I said, yesterday we closed in the 135s, and then today, in the pre-market, it was looking a little down. Right out of the gate, what we saw was a sell-off. Again, we see pushes one way or the other, followed by a pretty quick reversal. That's what we saw today, and this really nice push up from the 133s to 134s. And then we kind of faded and it looked like your typical Friday. And then right out of the blue, right, we pushed up and went from kind of this VWAP bounce, which is 134.26, all the way to the mid 135s. Now, this is the VWAP, the volume weighted average price line. I know I use it a lot in my videos. I made a video on it on my channel, I think a month or two ago. So if you're interested in what that line means and how you can use it, there's a video on my channel. I know a couple of you guys have asked about that. So check that video out if you want. But if you take a look at, Apple, again, up 24 cents on the day, 0.18%. The Dow was up 36 points. Again, similar pattern, right? Late push at the end. S&P 500 actually set a new all-time high there at the end. But look at this, right? So it was looking like pretty dead, and then it started to push up. And this push up was actually really crazy to see, but it was a welcome push up. And then NASDAQ was up about 0.5% as well. So that was, again, all major indexes had that late push at the end. So that was interesting to see, pushing them to all-time highs for S&P at least, maybe NASDAQ too. Okay, so what are we doing with Apple? Well, so we've got this line here, you guys, this line coming up, diagonal line. And what this line is showing us that, look, we keep kind of coming down, bouncing, and then going up, coming right back down to this line, going up, taking a step back. Sometimes we come to this line like here, sometimes we don't, but we still have that pullback. And so now we had the big push up, we had the pullback pretty close to the line, and then now we went up just a little bit, and now we're pulling back. So, if we didn't have that push today, we'd kind of be like here in the low 134s, which is getting pretty close to this line. So it really, to keep a trend that it has since November, it needs to start pushing up sometime soon, right? So that's what we're looking at. We've got maybe a couple more days before it starts to hit this line. And at that point, it'll be really interesting to see, because if you take a look, this line, again, has been kind of valid from, early November, right? That's the earliest point on here. So we've got about 3.5 months worth of, a trend that it would have to break for it to not bounce on this line. So I'm hopeful that we see a little bit of a bounce tomorrow and definitely start to head up a little bit if we ride this line. If we see anything like we've seen before, right, we could also start to push up just a little bit. But I'm not going to say that that's happening for sure, because I don't know that that's happening for sure. And also I need to see some level of confirmation before I can, comfortably say that. So what did we see today? We saw another day making a lower high, a lower low. As you guys see here, we're just dropping every day, and we're dropping every day at the bottom line too. Not a good trend for a stock to be in, but you know, consolidation happens and this type of stuff isn't unheard of. So let's take a look at future levels of support, future levels of resistance, and we can see what that could mean for the stock moving forward. So if we start to push up, we've got the first level we have to take over, which we already have, right? The 21 EMA. The next level is this 8 EMA, 135.71. And then we've got this 136.05 level, right? 136.05 is a pretty important level right now for us to capture because as you can see, we haven't really been able to stay above it in the past 3 days. Once we get above 136.05, since we're making lower highs every day, what I'm watching is for the high of the previous day to kind of act as a little bit of a resistance, right? So let's say we get this 135, mid 135s level of today, right? And we break into the 136. Well, I'm looking at yesterday's high of 136.39. Then I'm looking at 136.99. Then I'm looking at 137.88. Those are kind of short-term levels of resistance before looking at 138.43 as my next main level of resistance, right? So again, if we can clear 136, I'm hoping for a push towards 138 and along the way, breaking these resistances that were set from previous day's highs. On the downside, right, we've got this 21 EMA, which surprisingly, Apple has not done a really good job of, you know, finding support at, so that'll be really interesting to see how that holds up. Still looking for that as a little level of support, 134.93. And then after that, we've got this level here in the 133.40s and the 34 EMA in 133.26. But also we're looking at this diagonal line. So if we take a look at that, like come Tuesday, remember that we're off Monday, right? We're not trading Monday. That would be in the high 133s, right? And as we keep going right, this line will start to go higher. So hopefully if we see this line holding right, Apple should start to rebound here. We could still bounce off of this line and then go up, or as we saw kind of here and you know, a couple times before, we don't have to bounce off of that line. We could start going a little bit before. So I'm still hopeful, especially with the way that we closed the week this week with, you know, the S&P really pushing, right? Actually, let me show the one-day chart because it shows the story a little bit better. Yeah, so this really nice push up making all-time highs gives me a little bit of hope for next week, not gonna lie. So we'll see how that goes. As always, I'll keep you guys posted on anything that I see on Apple, and definitely we can go from there. So hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel. If you are new, comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Hope you guys all have an amazing weekend ahead of you, amazing long weekend for those of you that are off on Monday. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.